The single strongest predictor of whether you will be living independently at 85, not just alive, but climbing stairs, standing up from a chair without grabbing the armrest, walking to the end of the block and back, is the strength of your legs right now. Not your heart health, not your bone density, your legs. And the reason most women over 50 watch that strength quietly disappear has nothing to do with how hard they train. It has to do with what they eat. Specifically, whether they are hitting the one threshold their muscles now require in a completely different amount than they did 20 years ago. Today, we are going through the exact foods and the exact amounts that keep legs building and holding and carrying you as far into life as you intend to go. Something changed in your muscles at menopause that almost nobody explained, and it has nothing to do with effort. Before menopause, estrogen was quietly doing a job most women never knew it was doing, keeping your muscles sensitive to protein. Think of your muscle cells like a smoke detector with a fresh battery. The tiniest amount of smoke sets it off. After menopause, with estrogen gone, that same detector needs a room full of smoke before it triggers. The signal has not disappeared. The sensitivity has. This is called anabolic resistance, and it means the protein that once maintained and rebuilt your legs now needs to arrive in a larger dose, more deliberately timed, to do the same job. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that women over 60 need roughly 40% more protein per meal than younger women to trigger the same muscle-building response. Not more protein total across the day. More per meal, because the muscles now require a larger charge before they respond. And the name of that charge is leucine. There is a specific amount of one amino acid below which your muscles will not build. They will simply break even and quietly lose ground. Leucine is the trigger. Think of it as a light switch wired directly into the machinery that builds muscle fiber. Below a certain charge, the switch does not move. Above it, the whole system turns on. That switch is called mTOR, the actual mechanism that starts muscle protein synthesis. In younger bodies, a small amount of leucine flips it. In women over 50, the threshold is higher, approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. That is a specific, achievable number, but it requires knowing which foods carry it. A single egg delivers about 0.5 gram. 3 eggs gets you close to 1.5. To clear the threshold from eggs alone, you would need 5 or 6. This is why the delivery vehicle matters. The foods that consistently clear the leucine threshold in a single meal: 4 to 5 ounces of chicken breast, 30 grams of whey protein isolate, 1 cup of cottage cheese, a 6-ounce serving of salmon, 4 to 5 ounces of lean beef, or 1.5 cups of Greek yogurt. Any of these, built as the protein anchor of a meal, puts you above the line. Below it, you are sending a message your muscles have stopped bothering to read. This is actually the problem I built Strong past the drop around. Because understanding the leucine threshold is one thing, and knowing how to hit it across a real week of eating 3 meals a day for 8 weeks, without the whole thing becoming a math problem, is something else entirely. The protocol maps exactly which foods to anchor each meal around, in which amounts, timed relative to the walking and the legwork so the signal actually lands where it needs to. It is on screen if you want it. But there is another piece of this, a category most women over 50 have never been told they need, and it works through a completely different mechanism than protein. Most women have never heard that creatine is one of the most well-researched compounds for postmenopausal leg strength, because for decades, the research was done almost entirely on men. Think of the energy inside your muscle cells as coming from 2 systems: a slow tank that powers sustained effort, and a small emergency reserve strapped directly to the engine. Creatine is that emergency reserve. It is stored in the muscle as phosphocreatine, and it is what your legs draw on in the first 10 seconds of any hard effort, standing fast, climbing stairs, catching yourself from a stumble. Women's muscles store approximately 70 to 80% less creatine than men's at baseline. After menopause, that gap widens further. A meta-analysis published in Nutrients found that creatine supplementation in older women produced significant gains in lower body strength, specifically in leg press and squat performance, and that the effect was strongest in women who combined it with resistance training. 3 to 5 grams per day. No loading phase required. The muscle fills slowly over weeks and then holds. This is not a supplement built for athletes. It is infrastructure for the legs you will be using for the next 40 years. There is a reason 2 women can eat the same amount of protein and respond completely differently. And omega-3 fats are a large part of the answer. Think of the outer membrane of a muscle cell like a doorway. When that membrane is built from omega-3 fats, specifically EPA and DHA, the doorway opens wider, and the amino acids from your protein move through faster and more completely. When the membrane is built from inflammatory fats, the door sticks. Omega-3s do not just reduce soreness and inflammation, though they do both. They directly improve the rate of muscle protein synthesis by changing what the door itself is made of. A study in Clinical Science found that omega-3 supplementation increased the rate of muscle protein synthesis in older adults by approximately 50% when combined with adequate protein and exercise. And the effect was most pronounced in older women. 2 to 3 grams of combined EPA and DHA per day from fatty fish, fish oil, or algae-based oil for those who avoid fish, changes the structure of your muscle cells at the membrane level. You are not supplementing. You are rebuilding the walls. Leg strength is not just muscle, and the piece most women over 50 lose first, quietly, before the muscle itself shows any change, is the scaffolding underneath. Think of your tendons and ligaments as the cables of a suspension bridge. The muscle is the deck, the visible part, the part you can test in the gym. But the cables are what keep everything taut and transferring force correctly. After 50, with estrogen gone and collagen production dropping, those cables begin to fray. A muscle can be strong and still fail to deliver that strength because the connective tissue is no longer built to carry it. This shows up as joint soreness on stairs, stiffness in the knees after sitting, the sense that the legs feel unreliable even when they feel relatively strong. Collagen synthesis requires 2 things arriving together: collagen peptides, approximately 15 grams, and vitamin C, taken roughly 45 minutes before any loading activity, including a walk. The vitamin C is not optional. It is the cofactor that assembles the raw material into functional tissue. Without it, you are shipping components to a factory with no power. Bone broth, collagen powder, and canned sardines with the soft bones intact are the densest food sources. Pair any of them with a high vitamin C food, bell pepper, kiwi, orange, and the assembly begins. One final mechanism that changes everything about how you have probably been eating, and it has nothing to do with which foods you choose. Most women over 50 eat the majority of their protein at dinner. Think of your muscles like solar panels. They can only absorb a certain charge at once, and everything that arrives after the panel is full runs straight off the edge. One large protein meal does not produce 3 times the muscle signal of a moderate one. The system saturates. 30 to 40 grams of leucine-rich protein, 3 times a day, distributed across morning, midday, and evening, produces a fundamentally different outcome than 60 grams at dinner and almost nothing before noon. The muscle receives a reason to hold and rebuild 3 times instead of once, 3 separate flips of the switch. The women who shift the trajectory of their leg strength after 50 are not the ones who simply eat more. They are the ones who stop sending one large message the muscle cannot fully receive and start sending 3 clear ones it can. The question underneath all of this was never really about legs. It was about what the next 3 decades look like from the inside, and whether the body you are in right now is receiving a daily reason to stay strong enough to carry you through them. The women still climbing stairs at 90 did not stumble into it. They gave their muscles a reason to stay. You now understand why the effort alone was never enough. Because the biological sensitivity changed, and without addressing that directly through food, the signal your muscles need was never arriving clearly. That is the gap I built strong past the drop to close. I put it together after watching too many women understand exactly what their bodies needed and still have no clear picture of how to build a real week around it. Meals that clear the leucine threshold, hit the creatine and omega-3 targets, time the protein correctly across 3 windows, and still look like food a person actually wants to eat. It is 8 weeks, fully mapped. The meals, the amounts, the timing relative to the walking and the legwork, the adjustments for the weeks when the body resists hardest. It costs something because building it took real time. The link is on